So let's proceed to the comparative grammar, the teaching implication. So we have here now the first is transfer knowledge, first language, the second language. It is when you're going to transfer knowledge from students from the first language to second language, which is our target. It's more likely when you're going to transfer knowledge using their existing knowledge or existing linguistic to learn new ones, or in order for us to teach new ones for them. It also it is a foundation. It is also a foundation, and it is a core principle of comparative grammar. So that is the transferring knowledge first to second language. Okay, next one is anticipate common learner challenges. It means comparing the the structures of the first language to the second language, so that you can be able to anticipate the common learners challenges. Like for example, a student whose native language doesn't use in or have an article like a and the, it is more likely a struggle to use this in English. So the teacher will be able to know and create a specific address to address those issue proactively. So next one is aiding in constructive analysis, a systematic study of a study to identify the two language, which is their differences and similarities. The teacher will be able to predict the mistake due to the native language influence. Like for example, in Japan, the structure of their sentence is subject, object, and verb. Wherein in English, it is start with the subject, verb, and object. So through this, the teacher will compare or analyze the differences between the two languages, wherein in Japan and in English. So the teacher will unable to understand why is Japanese says I threw the ball through instead of I threw the ball, because the two languages have different structures of a sentence. Because of that, the teacher will be able to identify or aid the mistakes of one's sentences because of the differences or the influence of the native languages. The next one is improve error correction, understanding the source of an error for an effective correction. If a teacher knows a native language, they can easily figure out the simple mistake in a slip up or consistent error caused by first language interference. Like for example, a Spanish might say is very difficult because in their context they doesn't required to use a pronoun like it. So in that way, the teacher will need to explain a specific rule that causing the error rather than just marking it wrong. Because if in the teacher in the future, we cannot just say that you are wrong. It will be better if we must explain them the part that makes them wrong or makes them mistake, because every language have different structures or formations, so that as a teacher in the future, it really needs for us to explain to the students of how is that happened. So the grammars improve because of correction, because of an error, it might be better if we explain and expand their knowledge about that, or that specific language, in order for them to learn and improve the error correction. So that is all the improve error correction. We have here the last one, the fostering cultural and awareness, language connected to culture. Yes, by engaging in comparative grammar, the teacher and the students can explore and identify the different languages reflects the different ways of thinking and seeing the world. It also fosters cultural awareness and empathy. So that is all about the fostering cultural awareness. Next one is transformational grammar. It is developed, or theory developed by Noam Chomsky. It proposed the two levels of structures. First is deep structures, and the second is surface structures. So when we said deep structures, it is the meaning of one sentence, paragraph, or a story, or a sentence. If deep structures, which is the what is being represented of that sentence, or the core idea of that sentence before any grammatical rules and applied, and it all alter its form. Okay, so for example, for that is the cat chased the mouse, and the mouse chased by the cat. So it is the same, right? It is representing only that the cat's actions, which is chasing the mouse. So that is deep structures, the meaning of one sentence. Is surface structures. It is the actual spoken, or the actual that we are going to speak, or in a written form in a sentence we use. The structure surface that can be able to alter while maintaining the deep structures, which is the meaning. So like for the example that I said earlier, which is the cat chased the mouse, and the mouse chased by the cat. So right, there is an alter in the structures, but it has the same meaning, or this deep structures that defines or representing the actions of a cat, which is chasing the mouse. So that is the deep structures and the surface structures. Deep structures again is the meaning of a sentence, which is represent and cannot be altered, but the structure surface is the actuals, or the actual spoken, or the written form that the sentence we use, that can be altered while maintaining the deep structures. So the next one is sentence transformation, on how a sentence can be manipulated by the specific rules known as the transformation, or changing the specific structures. The rules includes, first is you have here the movement, or rearranging the elements, like forming the sentence into a question. Like for example, he can go, turn to can he go. Alright, so that is movement, rearranging the words, like forming into a questions. Okay, the next one, or the second one, is deletion. Deletion it means removing elements. Like for example, you go, a sentence, you go now, turn into go now. So it removes the word you. So you go now, turn to go now. So that is deletion, removing the element. Third one is addition, adding the element. Like for example, he is happy. Then you add the word not. So from he is happy to he is not happy. So that is addition. The fourth one is substitution. It means replacing the elements, like changing the noun into pronoun. So that is all, or the some of the rules includes in transformations. Transforming a sentence. The movement, the deletion, the addition, and substitution. Okay, so now we have here that an example of transformational grammar. The statement is, she can sing beautifully. In a question form, can she sing beautifully? But in a passive form, a song can be sung by her. So that is an example of transformational grammar. So again, what is it, the transformational grammar? Okay, transformational grammar is a study developed by Noam Chomsky. It has two levels of structures. First is deep structures, which is the meaning of a sentence or the context, or be represented. The second one is surface structures, which is spoken or the actual spoken or the written form that we use in a sentence. Next one is sentence transformation. What is it again? Okay, sentence transformation is on how sentence can be manipulated by specific rules. Including in sentence transformation rules or specific rules, we have first is movement, which is rearranging elements. Next one is deletion, which is removing elements. Third one is the addition, adding elements. The fourth one is substitution, changing an element, which is a noun changed to pronoun. So that is all about the continuation of comparative grammar and the topic about transformational grammar, also the sentence transformation.